Everyone thought that it would be just another typical subpar season for the Houston Rockets, after Alperen Sengun suffered a devastating leg injury and was wheeled off the court in their game against the Kings. However, instead of waving the white flag, Shen-gun's injury turned out to be the trigger that would blast the Rockets up to the next level. Cause ever since that unfortunate incident, they've strung up 11 consecutive wins, making them the hottest team in the league right now with an 11-game winning streak. With that in mind, the Rockets are giving the Warriors a run for their money as they're slowly closing the gap with just a full game back for the final spot in the play-in tournament. Now, during this stretch, it was Jalen Green who took the reins and benefited the most from Shen-gun's absence. You can see here that in the months of January and February, Green's numbers was slipping to all-time lows, to the point that his name became a hot commodity amidst the trade talks at the trade deadline. And recent reports have confirmed this, as the Rockets indeed tried to ship Green to the Nets 2 months ago, in a package that involved getting Mikal Bridges in return. But this month though, he bounced back big time, and during their 11-game winning streak, Green has basically put up all-star numbers, averaging almost 30 points a ball game on 50, 43, 78 shooting splits, while adding 6.1 rebounds and 3.6 assists, which earned him the Western Conference Player of the Week honors. In this video, I'll be talking about Jalen Green's mid-season turnaround and how he's been making a huge impact lately for the Rockets on the offensive end. Now, when you take a look back at the draft class of 2021, it's easy to point that Jalen Green was the player that had the full package and possessed that it factor. Standing around 6'4" to 6'6", depending on which site you refer to, and weighs about 180 pounds, the former G League Ignite standout carries the same build as the great shooting guards that have come before him, like D Wade, Kobe, and Vince Carter. And just like these guys, Green is also bursting with ridiculous hops and athleticism, which is why it was a no-brainer for the Rockets to pick him at number 2. However, just like any other insanely talented young guns, Green has to undergo some growing pains early on in his career. Though he played well on an individual level, the Rockets only won 42 games in the previous 2 seasons combined. But with his unexpected ascension as of late, it seems that Green is not putting up empty calories anymore, as his effort is now finally paying off as it is translating into actual wins. Since Shen-gun's injury, the Rockets have been playing a more up-tempo style, and without Shen-gun hovering at the low block, his absence has also opened up a lot of space in their offensive sets, and this has allowed Green to fully utilize his athletic ability in finishing around the rim. See, here's Van Vliet setting up a dribble handoff screen at the high elbow. The slight opening that this action created allowed Green to have an angle to clear off the runway, and despite the challenge, he was able to hang in the air, then lay it in through contact. Now, if you play him tight, Green can also get pretty crafty at times, putting you in a series of moves before finishing all the way through. And if his defender is a bit loose, he'll use his afterburners to blow them by. And once he's airborne, it's best to just get out of his way to avoid fouling, or worse, getting posterized. In the last 11 games, Green has been extra aggressive in attacking the paint, as most of his shots that he made have come from the restricted area or somewhere close to the paint. Back in his first 2 years in the league, Green's drive attempts were more erratic and wild, as he has yet to learn how to control the pace due to lack of maturity. But in this season, you can slowly see his improvement in this particular area of his game, and although there are times that he's reverting back to his old habits, he's playing more under control now on most occasions, which makes him an unpredictable and dynamic scorer, because teams are now having a hard time deciphering what his next move is gonna be. Now, apart from this, he's also expanding his offensive bag as he seems much more comfortable now when taking mid-range jumpers when the defense drops, and launching 3 balls when his defenders go under the screen or decide to give up daylight to shoot. Off the screen, Wemby backs down and anticipates his drive, but as I mentioned earlier, Green now knows how to read the defense and when to force the issue. So in this play right here, he just went for a step back to drill the easy jumper. And here, Green just takes a 3-pointer after 2 dribbles the moment he sees Wemby sagging off, and this reflects on his growing confidence in taking these kind of tough looks. The advanced stats show that he's been making a living in mid-range and beyond the arc in this season, as he's hitting above 40% clip in both of these scoring areas. And if you add up his improved finishing around the rim, this instantly makes him a 3-level scorer with no weakness on the offensive end whatsoever. There's no doubt that he'll turn up his scoring to another notch in the following games, but what really surprises me is that unlike other pure ISO scorers, Green can sacrifice a good shot for a better shot, and be a willing passer when the situation needs him to be. Here's Green using Landale's pick to penetrate inside. Now when the defense hedges on him, he dishes it out to the roll guy on a tight window for the easy flush at the rim. And as he curls beneath the screen here, look how he draws the shot blocker Jared Allen out, and then he sneakily bounced it off to Amen Thompson for the and one finish. Although his playmaking is not yet on par with Luka or other great facilitators in today's game, you can see in the previous clips that he has that ability to make the right reads whenever he catches the defense attention the moment he drives inside the lane or gets doubled. This newly unlocked skill of his will definitely make his teammates better when he kicks the ball out to them, and this will also come in handy when he engages in pick and roll or dribble handoff with Shen-gun, which to me has the potential to mirror what Jokic and Murray have been doing in Denver, because of the heavy semblances in each of their playstyles. As of now, I'm seeing Jalen Green as a nuclear bucket getter that can get his points through sheer athleticism on most instances. But there's no denying that he's gradually transforming into a legit offensive threat with his ability to drop buckets on 3 levels. If I'm gonna make a quick comparison, the evolution of his game reminds me of Anthony Edwards. I mean, in his first 3 seasons in the NBA, he would just rely on his hops and athleticism to get the job done offensively. But right now, you can see that he has learned how to play by changing his pace and switching gears on the fly. Sometimes he would decelerate or use some crafty footwork to drill turnaround fadeaways, and eventually get by his defenders with such ease. This is the thing that Green has yet to master, because once he unlocks this, I think the sky is going to be the limit for him. And he'll also be more efficient since he's going to be playing at his own pace while not forcing shots anymore. At just 22 years old and playing in his 3rd year, there's a lot of time for him to develop his offensive bag, and with the skills that he has, Green will definitely get onto it sooner rather than later. Anyway, with the pieces that they have right now, which features a blend of old folks and a bunch of young guns at its core, I really believe that the Rockets can crash the party in the play-in tournament. And with Jalen Green cooking up some all-star numbers as of late, they could definitely pull off some major upsets along the way. Especially if the other team tries to sleep on them.